predicament? Oh, right. Well, when, Borvir became arrow fodder, I humbly suggested to the bandit that he could make far greater use of me alive. I explained to the brute, using very small words, that I was an alchemist of some skill and could mix powerful potions on his behalf. In truth, I was planning on killing him using a similar trick to the one, Asliel Dureni used to vanquish the Lokvar. But before I could, enact my plan, another bandit killed him and took his place. 3 bandits later, and, well, here we are. No, not in the slightest. A wise move. Although I hesitate to accuse a bandit of wisdom. Sometimes I wonder if their diet is made of wickweed. You aren't related to any bandits or anything, are you? I hope I didn't just, insult your sister. I bet she's really pretty. Yes, Borvir. We were roommates. Well, without the room. I found him out here by chance, fighting an ice wraith. I deduced he was a mage, and when he finished off the wraith, I asked him if I could, purchase the teeth. I told him I rely on invisibility potions to, survive out in the wild. But Borvir insisted he needed the teeth for chilling his mead. Needless to say, I was surprised to find he knew a thing or two about alchemy. More importantly, he had a table, so I followed him home. He was a bit abrasive, and I knew he'd eventually ask me to leave. Luckily, he was also a conjurer, and had a few spare lavender lying around. When digested, lavender will normally help you resist magic, but if you only chew on the sprigs, it can fortify your personality. That's how I convinced them to share the space, with a rudimentary alchemist trick, and, perhaps a little feminine charm? Right, like I said, feminine charm. As in, I charmed Borvir into behaving like a gentleman. He slept on the furs. I came out here for research. Most of my colleagues find that absurd, considering this part of Skyrim is, blanketed with snow. Field research is typically conducted in the, forests to the south, in caves, or near the marshes. But I'm not really looking for the typical. We're not going to advance the field of alchemy without thinking outside the satchel. Well, as a matter of fact, there are some birds of prey who dive underwater to feed, and fish who leap out of the water to evade predators. So I'd argue that things that haven't been discovered are, counterintuitive by nature. Not everything is as obvious as death bells. We've been known to, experiment with various ingredients, but Borvir would have been the one to ask about that. Well, back when he was alive. Alchemy is mostly a serious endeavor, There's a few jokes my colleagues like to pass around, but they're mostly awful. Except, snowberries do help you resist fire. So do fire salts. I don't think that makes sense. Which is good, for you, anyway. You don't want to get in the habit of making alchemy jokes. Well, because they're stupid. You know, for a second there, I think I almost achieved a state of bliss. This joke will, well, it will certainly rectify that. An adventurer, a merchant, and an herbalist come across a magical flower. The adventurer says, "By the 9, you don't see that every day." The merchant, he looks at the plant and says, "Some people may call that a flower. Me, I call it a treasure." The herbalist doesn't say anything. It's not polite to talk with your mouth full. Really? Alright, but don't say I didn't warn you. A bee and a blue dartwing, they meet by a pond when a thunderstorm hits. But it turns out only the bee was shocked by the weather. This could be interpreted as a form of torture, you know. Perhaps you like being tortured, but I prefer a nap. Anyways, a priest, an alchemist, and a mage all contract the same illness. So the priest returns to his temple and prays for a cure. The alchemist pulls out a set of hawk feathers and eats them. The mage, well, she casts a healing spell. 10 years later, and she's still casting. If anything is a sign the world is ending, that's it. Okay, how about this? What's the one thing that an alchemist will never swallow? Debellin Arts. Wait, are you saying what I think you're saying? As someone who categorizes things by 4s, I can safely determine that you are vile, disgusting, perverse, and, well, weird. What is it? Right. No two ingredients are alike. You can have one juniper berry that's sweet and ripe, and another one that's highly acidic. You have to take into account your surroundings. I mean, what if there's magical resonance affecting your distillation? Is the room sanitized? Is your alembic sanitized? Trace elements of other ingredients, no matter how small, can alter the output completely. It's not something I can teach. You need to have a feel for the variables and how they're changing. You either have it or you don't. All right then. Hello. Predicament? In truth. But before I could, enact my plan, another bandit killed him and took his place. 3 bandits later, and, well, here we are. Right, but another adventurer could. Bandits and adventurers are like, well, red and blue mountain flowers. Some restore your health, others ravage it, but the mountain will never be rid of either. Um, I, I told. Needless to say, I was surprised to find he knew a thing. He, when that's how I convinced him to share the space, with a rudimentary alchemist trick, and succeed? No, no, no. He drank most of his, research materials before he could determine their efficacy. He really liked mead. Goodbye.
That's a fine steed you've got there.
We need coin, Ramir, and you're not bringing home any. Don't just walk away from it.
Kraldar's family was once very powerful in Winterhold. It's my honor to assist him even now.
Fools! Roll!
A good snowfall. Reminds me of the tales my father used to tell.
Stop that!
Vanish the darkness of the entire void. in this little game. Give up while you still can.
Barely a scratch.
Trade a
Damn
Stickar while you can.
Need to do
Not
better.
impressed.
Fools!
We'll beg for mercy before this is over.
You can't win this!
Draw your last breath. That's the end of that. I miss the warmth of a good mead right about now. Onward then. What's the plan, Dragonborn? I'm always up for a good trade. Sounds good.
We've stopped. What is it? What do you need? It's the least I can do. Let's go.
Dwemer in the beyond. Dig. Dig, Dwemer in the beyond. I'll know your lost unknown and rise to your depths. Septimus is but an idiot child compared to the dullest of the Dwemer. When the top level was built, no more could be placed. It was and is the maximal apex. The warp of air. How long will it be sung? My feet were set upon the rock, but it turned to mud and drew me down. It licked the panes and smokes the glass. But I'll rise to your depths, and I'll know your lost unknown. Ah, the ice entombs the heart, the bane of Kagranak and Degolthur. To harness it is to know the fundaments. The Dwemer lockbox hides it from me. The Elder Scroll gives insight deeper than the deep ones, though, to bring about the opening. I have seen enough to know their fabric, the warp of air, the weft of time. But no, it is not in my possession. Here. Well, here as in this plain, Mundus, Tamriel, nearby, relatively speaking. On the cosmological scale, well, it's all nearby. One block lifts the other. Septimus will give what you want, but you must bring him something in return. You see this masterwork of the Dwemer, deep inside their greatest knowings. Septimus is clever among men, but he is but an idiot child compared to the dullest of the Dwemer. Lucky then they left behind their own way of reading the Elder Scrolls. In the depths of Black Reach, one yet lies. Have you heard of Black Reach? Cast upon where Drimmer's city slept, the yearning spire hidden learnings kept. Under deep, below the dark, the hidden keep, Tower Mazark. Oftand, the point of puncture, of first entry of the tapping. Delve to its limits, and Black Reach lies just beyond. But not all can enter there. Only Septimus knows the hidden key to loose the lock, to jump beneath the deathly rock. Two things I have for you, two shapes, one edged, one round. The round one for tuning. Dwemer music is soft and subtle, and needed to open their cleverest gates. The edged lexicon for inscribing. To us, a hunk of metal. To the Dwemer, a full library of knowings, but empty. Find Mazark and its sky dome. The machinations there will read the scroll and lay the lore upon the cube. Trust Septimus. He knows you can know. The deepest doors of Dwemer listen for singing. It plays the attitude of notes proper for opening. Can you not hear it? Too low for hearings? Ooh, an observant one. How clever to ask of Septimus. This Dwemer lockbox. Look upon it and wonder. Inside is the heart. The heart of a god. The heart of you and me. But it was hidden away. Not by the dwarves, you see. they were already gone. Someone else, unseen, unknown, found the heart, and with a flair for the ironical, used dwarven trickery to lock it away. The scroll will give the deep vision needed to open it. For not even the strongest machinations of the Dwemer can hold off the all-sight given by an Elder Scroll. To glimpse the world inside an Elder Scroll can damage the eyes or the mind, as it has to Septimus. The Dwemer found a loophole, as they always do, to focus the knowledge away and inside without harm. Place the lexicon into their contraption, and focus the knowings into it. When it brims with glow, bring it back, and Septimus can read once more. You look to your left, you see one way. You look to your right, you see another. But neither is any harder than the opposite. But the Elder Scrolls, they look left and right in the stream of time. The future and past are as one. Sometimes they even look up. What do they see then? What if they dive in? Then the madness begins.
What do you need, lass? You got a letter from a Jarl offering you the title of Thane? Impressive, but I've learned to be wary when the pot of gold seems too easy to reach. How about we go and see for ourselves? This weather separates the weak from the strong. Sure thing.